Our objective for today is to provide you with information on the Sunshine Coast City Hall project and explain the process for expressing your interest in being part of the Sunshine Coast City Hall construction. I'm joined today by Carl Nancaro and David Hungerford from McNab, and there'll be room for us to answer some questions at the end of the forum if you could post your questions in the chat function on Zoom. Sunshine Coast City Hall will be built in Maroochydore City Centre and will be the main civic presence for the Sunshine Coast Council. It will host our customer contact area, our council chambers and workspace accommodation for approximately 600 of our staff and councillors. I'll show you a quick message from our Mayor that explains our design intent.
Here on our Sunshine Coast, we're fortunate to be surrounded by an outstanding natural environment. We have a deep connection to our hinterland, mountain ranges and coastal plains, and these natural assets are the inspiration behind the innovative design of our Sunshine Coast City Hall, a design which we believe is unlike anything else in our region. Emerging innovations and technologies will be used throughout the design, and our community will see council in action with a view into our council chamber. Landscaping that reflects our region's native flora and geology will rise from the ground level to the roof. Energy and water efficiency and shading treatments will deliver a building with a 5-star Green Star rating, which aligns with our vision to be Australia's most sustainable region. This vibrant space will encourage residents and visitors to enjoy everything our City Hall has to offer. It will be a major building in our new Maroochydore City Centre, as the seat of local government should be. Our City Hall will reflect our healthy, smart, creative vision, representing our people, culture, natural elements, and our success as one of the fastest growing and most progressive regions in Australia. Here on our
The building will include 9,400 square metres of net lettable area across 10 levels, with 156 car parking spaces at podium. As the Mayor explained, we'll aim for our accreditation targets of 5-star Green Star, 5-star Neighbours, and Property Council of Australia's regional A-grade commercial building accreditation. There will be commercial and retail uses at the ground floor. In line with our delivery targets, Council recently achieved EDQ approvals and are excited to announce that construction will commence on site next month, with the occupation target being July 2022. I'll now hand you over to Carl Nancaro from McNab to further explain McNab's processes and the construction for our building.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. It's great to have so many people online today to be with us. As Francis said, my name is Carl Nancaro. I run the McNab Sunshine Coast and Regional Queensland business. So today's agenda, I'll just flick through. So I'll give a bit of an overview of the McNab business more generally, and some of the, I guess, the more fundamental issues that we work through from a collaborative subcontracting perspective and how we engage with our subcontractors. And then I'll introduce Dave Hungerford, who's our Senior Project Manager on the City Hall project. And Dave will go through some of the more particulars of the job and the qualification and expression of interest process. So a bit about McNab as a business. We're still a privately owned family business with offices across majority of southeast Queensland, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, Brisbane and the Sunshine Coast. We have about, I think we're up to about 320 odd direct employees. We engage up to 18,000 workers across our projects in any one year, with revenues of close to $500 million over the next over the next financial year. Projects that we do literally range from a couple of $100,000 up to $100 million and everything in between, and I'll give you some examples of those in a sec. Some of the projects that we've done across southeast Queensland that we've got there, we work across pretty much all sectors in the building industry, from industrial health, education, aged care, retirement living. We do a lot in the residential space, and then obviously commercial office and government work. There's some sample projects there up on the screen. Here on the Sunshine Coast, we've got a team of about 50 direct employees, from site managers, project managers, our estimating team, our safety advisors, quality teams, and we do, again, a similar range of projects. Some recent projects that we've completed, some of you may be familiar with those. The Chancellor State School College project at Sippy Downs, both the senior and private schools, AVO Retirement Village down at Palmview, aged care facilities down at Morayfield, and the Batinia Retirement Village, Shine for Stockland. Some current projects that we've got underway, the Stockland Boccarina Beach Townhomes project, down obviously at Boccarina Beach opposite Batinia. We've just completed stage 1 there and moving on to the next stage of 12 townhouses. Beach Life at Alex, a fantastic project for us, and one that we're not far from topping out in terms of the structure, and we're getting into fit out and finishes. Sunshine Coast Vitality Village down at Kawana, another great project for an existing customer. We also run a lot of regional Queensland work out of our Sunshine Coast team. We're currently about to complete a project out in Charleville for Southern Queensland Regional Health, a remote health training facility. About to kick off another project in Cunnamulla. One of the things that is very important at McNab is the way in which we engage with our subcontractors and our suppliers. And we like to think that we take very much a collaborative approach to how we engage with our subcontractors. There are 5 key areas, I guess, that we like to focus on. The first being making sure that we come into a project with all of our subcontractors and suppliers with the right mindset. Defining what mutual success looks like. We are very much a relationship-based business, and understanding what's important to our subcontractors and suppliers is just as important to us as understanding what success looks like for our clients. We have quite I guess a well-defined tender process that we bring our subcontractors and suppliers into our business, particularly when we're building new relationships, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then obviously during construction, making sure that we maintain that. So starting with the right mindset, as I said before, we are absolutely a relationship-based business. That is fundamentally what our values are founded on. Making sure that we connect with our subcontractors and suppliers, as I said before, it's just as important in how we connect with our clients and our consultants. Key to that and any relationship is valuing and understanding what success looks like for all parties. One of the things that we spend a lot of time and effort in at the very beginning of a project is making sure that we sit down and understand what success looks like for everyone who's involved in the project. And us and our project teams absolutely understanding that what's important to us needs to be what's important to you, and vice versa. Today is all about City Hall, and Dave will come on in a minute and talk to, I guess, the process that we're going to follow through for our procurement of subcontractors and suppliers. There will be some of you out there today that are listening that City Hall won't actually be the right project for you in terms of the trades that we're looking for, the suppliers that we're looking for, or perhaps the size and scale of the project itself. I would encourage you to continue to engage with us through that expression of interest project process. As I said, here at McNab, we have projects for a full scale from, as I said, a couple of $100,000 up to $100 million. So if City Hall isn't right for you, there's a really good chance that we've got something that could very much suit your business, and I'd really encourage you to engage with us so that we can point those opportunities in your direction. And the way to do that is through our estimating team. These fine specimens that are in front of you at the moment, Link, Reese and Jordan head up our estimating team here on the Sunshine Coast. I really encourage you to pick up the phone to these guys, get in contact with them, introduce yourselves. We're really keen to build new relationships with our supply network. How we formally engage outside of the City Hall project, we use a platform called Estimate One. If you register on that platform, you will receive automatic notifications of every tender that we have within our business. And that's not just here on the Sunshine Coast, that's right throughout Southeast Queensland. You can then decide what are the projects that you want to provide pricing on or not. It's a very simple, easy to use process. One of the key things at McNab and what we value very much is I guess a concept that I talk about, supporting the subcontractors and suppliers who support us when we're tendering. We have an internal procurement system called our supply chain app, and every single subcontract or supply package that comes through for the Sunshine Coast business comes through through an approval process. What's a really key part of that is understanding who are those subcontractors and suppliers who priced for us when we were tendering the project. And why we do that is understanding that if you're going to take the time and effort and invest money in tendering projects for us, well, we want to support you when it comes to time for us actually letting those packages. And that effort ranking that you can see on the screen is one of the ways that we track that in a way that we can actually then, as I said, support those subcontractors who support us. That's a really important thing, and something that I would certainly encourage everyone, again, through our estimating team, through Link and Reese and Jordo, to engage and get involved in that process. Finally, as I've said a couple of times now, at McNab, it's all about relationships. Strong, open, honest communication is what we're all about. We certainly don't pretend that we get it right all of the time, and if we're not getting it right, we absolutely want to hear from you guys. Whether that's during a procurement process or during construction, our door is always open, and we certainly encourage that feedback. That's enough from me about McNab as a business. I'll hand over now to Dave Hungerford, who's our Senior Project Manager. We'll give you a bit of an overview of the City Hall project and the procurement processes that we have for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Carl, for that introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Hungerford. I'm one of the Senior Project Managers. I've taken the City Hall project through from design through to construction and completion at the end of 2022. I'll just go over some of the previous stats on the project, just to give you an overview of the scale and the size of the project. As Francis has spoken briefly before, it is a 10-storey building, the basement, which is a semi-basement involving fire tanks, rainwater harvesting tanks, domestic tanks, and fire hydrant and pump room allocation. It has got 3 levels of car parking, about 156 car parks located on levels 1, 2 and 3, and motorbike parking. The main crux of this building is it is a 5-star Green Star, and I'll go on a little bit further in regards to what that involves. So 5-star NABERS rating, which is the National Australian Building Environmental Rating System, and a PC Grade A commercial building. Just further stats so you have a scale of the size of this building. These are just building stats in regards to the size and scale of the project. During the course of the structure, we're looking to excavate about 1,500 cubic metres of material, earthworks, etc. There's about 29,500 square metres of formwork. About nearly 9,000 cubic metres of concrete, about approximately 682 tonne of reinforcement, 120 tonne of post-tensioning, 3,500 square metres of glazing, more linings up to 6,500 square metres, internal ceiling linings 8,200 square metres, material screens 2,200, horizontal and vertical fins about 6,500 linear metres, floor coverings up to 9,000 square metres of floor coverings, sanitary fixtures 332, and access floor about 8,500 square metres. So, as I said before, what this building is about, it's a 5-star Green Star building, which is about sustainability in building design. The Green Star is about, and came into conception in 2003. It's under the Green Star of Australia Council. There's a voluntary and a truly holistic sustainable rating system for building, fit outs and communities. The aims of Green Star are reducing the impact of climate change, enhancing our health and quality of life, restoring and protecting our planet's biodiversity and ecosystems. These are all things that have come and been driven and actually commented by the Mayor earlier. It is a credit-based system, and it goes through a series of either, between up to 60 credit points, is what we require under Green Star 5-star rating, which gives us a rating of a 5-star rating in excellence in design and build. NABERS is an energy efficiency rating. NABERS is the National Australian Built Environmental Rating System, which comes up with a number of measures in measuring building efficiency, energy efficiency, carbon emissions, as well as water consumed. It's an ongoing process after the building has been finished. There's several practical elements to NABERS, which are actual impact, not intent, relevant to the building operations, ratings are meaningful, ratings are simple and easy to perform, ratings are reliable, management is trustworthy, development in collaboration. The third part of this building is the PC Grade A element, which is a rating issued by the Property Council of Australia. So that gives you a bit of an overview of how the project came together, why we're doing it, why it's such an importance for the project. It's been an iconic project on the Sunshine Coast. As part of our process at McNab's, we will then be moving towards which is part of the forum today, in regards to expression of interest and pre-qualification. So the process that we're pre-outlaying in regards to the expression of interest process is engaging with yourselves in this forum as we are today. It'll be advertised in local papers, etc., as another format, and also on the ICN, the International Industry Capacities Network, Gateway. The expression of interest will then go into a website. We'll be able to receive those expressions of interest, and then we'll be able to perform, to be able to send out a pre-qualification checklist. What's involved in the pre-qualification checklist? Just there's some slides as I'm going through at the moment, just sort of shows you how large and the scale of this type of building is at the moment. So I'll just flick through those as I'm talking about other elements. On the ICN network will be a list of subcontractors that will be involved in this project from the start in August through to June next year, which will go through from early works contractors, services contractors, structural and contractors, preliminary type trades, which will be like tower cranes, scaffolding and hoists, building envelope, which involves the windows, external cladding, metalwork, roof access systems, roof works, render, etc. Through into fit out, into finishes, externals, and then miscellaneous, which is more to do with the elements around the base of the building on completion. Pre-qualification. The process that we are following here is give you a gauge in the scale of this type of building that's being built at the moment. So part of that pre-qualification process will be involving listing a number of activities that we want to know about you guys. So which is, safety record, relevant experience and skills, like it's a major project. And there's a certain amount of elements that either are specialists or not in regards to Green Star NABERS and the PC Grade A requirements. Local content is a very important part of this project, and we certainly encourage everyone to put an expression of interest based on that. Financial capacity, as you know yourselves, under the QPCC licensing, certain trades need certain license categories to be able to do these types of projects. So that's part of our process and our screening in regards to the pre-qualification to City Hall. There will be, once we receive an expression of interest, and we will go through that process, we'll then have a pre-qualification checklist that will be sent out to everyone who is able to complete. which gives us a gauge of where your capacities are, which I think there's an example on our on the screen at the moment. We'll have a website available, so it'll go through to our City Hall at McNab.net, which we'll be able to review and then go to the next process. Once we go through the pre-qualification process, we'll be able to assess whether or not you're able to do the likes of City Hall or other projects within the McNab business. The expression of interest, that's just giving you an idea of what it is, and at the end of the day, that's a conclusion to the presentation. I think we'll maybe looking to take some questions from people today.
Yeah, thanks, David. So there's been a number of questions come through during the forum. We're not going to be able to cover them all off today. I just want to highlight some of those for the audience, the immediacy of this webinar, but we will come back to everybody following all questions. Dave, can you please explain again the process of what happens now and after this? Again, for everyone, just stepping through the next thing that suppliers and subcontractors will see out of this process.
So I think basically, from my understanding, you'll be able to log on to the system, onto the ICN network. You'll be able to have a look and decide whether or not you are able to tender this particular project or put an expression of interest in at this stage. It will list the number of trades on there, and then there'll be a web email address down the bottom where they can then forward the information. We will then forward, once we've received your expression of interest, we can review that and then send you out a pre-qualification checklist.
And so once the suppliers or subcontractors complete that questionnaire, can you just explain again what the pre-qualification process will look like and how that will be managed?
Yes. So we've sort of highlighted maybe it'll be half a dozen sort of categories, which is based on safety record, the size of the companies, the size of the projects. Some of the size of the packages are quite large. They will range from $50,000 up to $5 or $6 million projects. Relevant experience and skills in undertaking such a building with scale up to $60 million. Financial capacity of a contractor or suppliers and being able to complete a project of this size. Whether it's local content, employing local, supplying local, etc. The relevant QBC licenses, ensuring that you meet the financial requirements of the type of license, and the scale of the project requires that you need that license category to be at the top level. Relevant insurance is involved as part of this type of project. You've got construction insurance, work cover, etc. moving through. And then highlighting any specialist requirements if you have worked on a Green Star or involved in a Green Star NABIS type project.
Well, thanks, Dave. Just one other specific question. Is the intention to the electrical package of both install and equipment as one package, or you intended this to separate packages?
We would normally, on a project this scale, we would normally include that as one major package. Where the electrical contractors will go out to the market, they will go to the lighting suppliers, for instance, or other suppliers of product, and then that will be incorporated as part of the overall package into the building.
Fantastic. Just overall, can you just remind us again when construction is due to start and how long you reckon the trade letting process will take?
The construction is due to start in August of this year, 2020. There will be a early engagement of numbers of tenders, which is involving civil works, piling, which will be happening as we speak. And then we'll go into more into the services ones, which are the larger package once we start coming out of the ground, which will be electrical, hydraulics, fire, mechanical, lifts, etc.
And did you say earlier there'd be about a year-long period for trade letting?
Yeah, so trade period will it'll be over between about August through to would say April next year.
Okay. Can you just, one of the other questions that just come in is can you identify whether what structural trades will be let and involved throughout the package? Presumably you mentioned post-tensioning and block work. Are there any others?
You'll have reinforcement fixing, concrete place, waterproofing. This has got quite a large capacity for formwork components. There's also an automated waste collection system, which is part into the groundworks. Because of the building, the nature of the structure, it's a post-tension structure, so there's another element of trade in the post-tension component. And structural steel, which is based on the ground level and also up on the roof.
Just, I think one of the final questions for this forum, but there will be others, I'm sure. But are the services fully designed, or is it a D&C?
They are fully designed, but the way we generally let would generally be on D&C basis. But the general intent of the building has already been sort of gone through a 20+ week design period, taking it from the original conceptual designs through to 100% IFC construction documentation.
Fantastic. Well, I think for the moment that's it, and we'll certainly respond to the questions that we receive. I just probably in closing, really just to reiterate, the slide package that the suppliers have received today will be provided to all the suppliers on this in an abridged version. But thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If we've missed your questions, we'll be sure to come back to you. And as mentioned, we'll provide a version of the slides that is capable of being shared. The slide deck in full is a very large document, so we'll make sure the key information is distributed to everyone who's attended. Thanks for your time.